Welcome to Coffee and Curveballs. I'm Tommy. He is Shooter. I apologize for the aesthetics. Out of town, doing what we can logistically. A little blurry, weird background. We get it. We got a class. I had to make sure that we got this one in, though, because we need to talk about the class of 25. And it's a long list, isn't it, Shooter?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this sophomore group. A lot of premium end talent, up the middle, premium positions as well. So I'm eager to talk about these guys.
We're going to talk about some states because we could break down the top 10 all we want, but we want to start with some of the states of note. And the first one we're going to talk about is California.
Yeah, and look at this California group. I go back to 2017 was a historical year in California. Even 2020, looking ahead towards this year's draft, will show just how strong that group was. These guys kind of have some similarities to that. They're still so young, so you can't really put that kind of pressure on them. But up front, you got a guy like Billy Carlson, can really go get it at shortstop. It's about as natural a shortstop as you'll see in the high school class. Can swing it. There's still more projection, physicality. Oh yeah, he can hop on the bump. He's 88 to 92 with a banger. So there's real two-way potential. He's a Vanderbilt recruit. Brady Ebel, he may challenge Billy over time for that number one position. Left-handed stick. He's going to hit for power. Won a gold medal with Team USA. But really goes 6, 7, 8 deep for guys who could be number one over time. And you know how it is in California. You're going to find something along the way. They just keep popping up and getting better.
Yeah, and as you noted here, 46 players from California in the top 400. Pretty crazy. Who else is from there?
Yeah, 18 in the top 100. Seth Hernandez was a guy who really shined throughout the summer. I got to see him late in August, and then again at the prestigious PBR Cup in September down at Lake Point. He was 90 to 93. The changeup really stood out to me. It was something new where he was getting swings and misses on that. Could be a plus pitch down the road. 6'4", about 200 pounds. He's going to swing it as well. He's another Vanderbilt recruit. But even Trey Morris, Zach Strickland, you go into Von Necker, another guy who could easily be in the top 10 in the country and even number one at some point over time. But another guy who came to the Future Games back in July, Grayson Bowles. He was a big riser. He's from down in San Diego. Two-way potential, really athletic at the plate, but on the mound, it's 6'4", 200, comes out real easy. I think he's got a chance to make a real big jump next spring as well.
There's a few more shortstops on that list, aren't there?
There's always shortstops in California.
There's always shortstops. Yeah.
But Rashad Hayes going up to NorCal. He's a Stanford recruit, can really go and get it on the infield, side to side, athletic kid, swings at the plate. Believe he's young for the class, which will really help him when we're eyeing 2 years from now, draft wise. But then Gavin Feen from down in San Diego, he's at a really good Great Oak program. I'm kind of circling them this spring, hoping to check out what they got to do, what they have on that team. So maybe I'll get to see them. But California, come on. Oh man, can't wait to get down there the next few years.
And I'm not going to let you get out of California yet because there's some uncommitted guys that we need to talk about too.
Oh, yeah. We forgot about my guy, Jackson Baker. He's one of my real big circles for the spring. Must see, 6'3" left-hander, can get on top of that fastball. He's going to be into the low 90s, I would expect, sometime this spring. He's at Vista Marietta. We got Brock Kettleson, another really good one to get out and see for college coaches. And then Joshua Woodworth, who's probably very well known in the college coaching circles. He did a great job winning a gold medal with Team USA this fall.
All right, we'll move on to a state that you think maybe has its best class ever. Is this the best ever class from Arkansas?
Best ever class in Arkansas. It could be. You don't want to put that pressure on a bunch of sophomores. And I will say the Razorbacks have drawn a line around this state, and they are not letting anybody leave. Because the top 8 guys, all of which were in the top 400 nationally, are committed to the Piggies down in Arkansas. So good job to those guys. Landon Schaefer's number one in the class right now for them. Really dynamic infielder, can kind of do it all. I think his best days are ahead of him. He's only going to get better because that athleticism really plays. He can swing it. It's about 6'3", moves around really well. Jason Delamar, who shined at our PBR Future Games back in July. He's just a freak athlete. Can hop on the mound. He's in the low 90s. 97 from the outfield. I think he put 6 or 7 balls out in a row in BP before committing to Arkansas after that. But I'm actually really excited about all the arms that they have. And they're just churning them out. You got guys like Grant Wren, who I think is going to be into the mid 90s this spring. I think he can continue to jump. He was a huge riser in this update. McLean Moody, Mark Brissy's a big physical kid with a power arm, but these guys are going to miss some bats with those fastballs. Love those whiffs.
We'll stay somewhat in the South here. We're going to Tennessee now. What's going on over there?
Tennessee. I'm always looking for what's going to be coming out of that Vol State. And they had a new number one, Ryan Mitchell, shortstop, committed to Georgia Tech, left-handed hitter. He rises to that top spot. But there's a group of like 5 or 6 that ultimately could be number one. They're all great players. I'm going to be eyeing them very closely. Cole Pippinger, Gabe Boyd, both Mississippi State recruits, infielders who can really swing it, really good players. But Alexander Peck was kind of the riser this fall. Again, he was at the PBR Future Games, kind of the underclassman, 6'3", 175, can really fill out that frame. Goes into the fall. He's a real defender at shortstop, can also hop on the mound. The frame stands out. The bat ticked up this fall, and as he continues to pack on that strength, I think it's only going to get better from there. And then you got a guy like Grayson Burleson, right-handed arm, who's also at the Future Games, committed to Vanderbilt. Big physical kid. His brother's a really good arm, good mover down the mound. I'd expect him to continue to make some big jumps in the spring.
So there is Arkansas, there's Tennessee. We can't get out of the 25 class without talking about some uncommitted guys that definitely should be getting some looks and some offers. Who are the 12? We'll start out in New York.
So, yeah, this group of uncommitted guys, just going through the list when I'm scanning, we're putting it together, getting information from all over the country. These are kind of highlighted names where I'm like, oh, I got to look more into this guy. I want to write this guy up because I want to go see him this spring. Miguel Samay, he's a kid from Queens, I believe, in New York. But he was up in the low 90s, can really backspin the baseball, 2,500 plus RPM. It comes real easy to him. He's got that New York cool and confidence to him where he hops on that mound. He's pumping the zone. I think he's only going to get better. He had a huge jump in this update. Ty Peoples, outfielder from Georgia, left-handed stick. I watched him this fall after seeing him in the summer. The guys in Georgia, Justin Getz, Phil Kerbert, they just gush over him. And it was easy to see why. Just the ability to slow the game down at the plate, tracks everything well, hard contact from gap to gap, but he's a really smart baseball player. He did the little things on the field that I was able to pick up. You just want to watch him more and more. Leo Umbert from Missouri. He's a left-handed thrower, right-handed hitter, so kind of that opposites there, but can really swing the bat. And his play center field, he's got a strong arm, probably a corner profile when it comes down to it, so you're going to want to see it more, which is why I'm hoping to see him a little bit this spring, but especially next summer. But run producer that college coaches might want to see in the end.
I feel like we talked about Stoneman Douglas quite a few times here. Nick Diaz is another great player from there.
You're out in California, you got all those big programs. Well, you better learn about Stoneman Douglas because if they were national powers flying back and forth, they would definitely be playing each other a lot. Nick Diaz, you talk about the bats that are rolling out of Stoneman Douglas. There's just one after another. It's just a factory there. And Nick Diaz, corner guy, 6'4", 175 pounds, going to fill out a ton more, but he's already whipping the barrel through the zone. He gets great rotational acceleration, can get the ball in the air to the pull side. That power is going to continue to develop, but it just looks the part. Another really confident kid out there at Stoneman Douglas. And you kind of expect it. You come through the program, you get it automatically.
What about another guy who's 6'4", 170 pounds?
Yeah, you look at Hyland Brown. It was 84 to 87, but I love the way the arm works. 3 pitches for strikes. He's got a 12-6 breaking ball. In the state of Georgia, you got guys and dudes. Everybody's all over. These dudes are just everywhere. But Hyland Brown had a great summer, great fall. And what I like most about him is that it's a starter profile, and I think he's only going to get better. I'd expect to hear a lot more about him and wouldn't be surprised if you and I are talking some more about him. Let's say April, early May, even up into the summer season right there, June 1st. And then
another right-hander from North Carolina. Who's that?
You know, I got into towards the end of this list. It was like, I got a lot of pitchers on here. But everybody's always looking for more pitching. And Grant Nicholson was a guy I saw at that PBR Cup at Lake Point. He's part of the South Charlotte Panthers 25s, who just are churning out nonstop arms. Every time I see them, there's a new 6'3", 6'4" guy who's throwing 85 to 88, touching 90, has feel for spin, starter profile, has every Bigs program crowding behind the backstop, getting a look. But Grant Nicholson, uncommitted guy on that team who we got to see this fall, who did a really great job. Then go down to Texas, Brody Walls, who's a two-way guy, another quick-armed right-hander. Ball jumps out of hands. He looks like a shortstop on the mound, which is what I like. A really good mover out there. He can get those whiffs in the zone. I think he can really compete, which is something that'll help carry him. And then you go up to Washington. Will Cahill is a guy I've seen the last couple of years. Good left-handed stick. He's 6'2", 180, athletic frame. Oh, yeah, he hops on the mound. He's 85 to 87 with feel for spin. It's a real two-way prospect. I think there's a lot of guys on the West Coast, big programs, who are locked in on what he's going to be able to do. And, again, I saw him last spring. I'll probably see him again this spring to see what kind of jumps he's been taking.
We got to talk about a left-handed arm from Georgia.
Jackson Rose. Again, going through this top 400 list, gathering information from the guys down in Georgia. Jackson Rose, okay, let's check out what, oh, wow, this lefty, the ball jumps out of the hand. It's a low 3/4 slot. He's getting those swings and misses in the zone, which are very, very important when you're looking towards recruiting. But 6'3", 195, a pristine frame. I think he's only going to get better. He's going to be able to backleg that slider at right-handed hitters. He has that Friday, Saturday starter type potential. So huge fan of Jackson Rose.
And then back to Texas for another one.
Yeah, Connor Jones. I just talked about another Texas guy, but Connor Jones, athletic, 6'2". The velo has not popped. I got to see him at the state games at Weatherford earlier in the fall. The velo is going to be there because if you're in Texas, you're born in Texas, you're playing in Texas, you're going to throw hard. That's just how it goes. And Connor Jones competes. He's got feel for 3 pitches, can really spin the baseball. He knows how to disrupt timing. A little bit of cross body, gets that deception from the right side. I think he has a chance to make a big jump. It's part of a really good program that guys will be watching. But we're not just those Southern guys. Go up north, Enzo Infeliz from the state of Illinois. I think this dude can just bang. Like, he's going to hit. It's a right-handed slugging, 6'2", 190-pound frame. He's got a big arm behind the plate. I think he'll get more reps back there at receiving-wise. He's only going to get better. But it's a run producer, middle-of-the-order type guy who is not scared. And I think it'll probably maybe into the middle of next summer, guys will really be buzzing about him. I'm sure the Midwest schools are already locked in and follow him closely. But I think it'll nationally will pick up a lot next summer, perhaps at the PBR Future Games.
Yeah, I mean, try to keep him away from those SEC schools that seem to go up and get those Illinois kids. Last guy on the list from Louisiana.
William Patrick. And last but not least here, because this kid's one of those he's part of a rare breed now. That's a 3-sport high school athlete. Big time receiver on the gridiron. He's going to have huge offers from most schools, I would think, including SEC stuff. But he carries that athleticism over to the diamond, where it's big power, obviously can run, he can move around the outfield. He's still trying to polish things up. He's 3 sports. He's trying to balance a lot there. But I think the upside is immense, and I would assume he's probably going to do 2 sports in college. So some baseball program will reap the rewards of what their football recruiting does.
It sounds like an LSU player to me. I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything, but
maybe. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. That's Class 25 Shooter. Thank you so much for the information. We'll see you next time.